What's up, YouTube? It's the quintessential tuber here, and today I want to talk about INTJ problems. I'm just going to talk about three, and I might make a part two and talk about some other INTJ problems. So let's get this started. INTJ problems, and we have many. So my first subject for the INTJ problems is that we are jerks. Yes, I'm ashamed to admit it, but we INTJs can be jerks sometimes. And here's why. The untrained INTJ, and by extension, some introverted types, we are direct with our words. We don't sugarcoat what we say. We don't use too much tact. We are straightforward and direct in what we have to say. And that comes off as insensitive and sometimes downright disrespectful. So we are jerks in that way. And to us, we don't think your feelings should be hurt. So we have a problem with accepting that your feelings are hurt when we tell you something, because sometimes what we say may be the truth, brutally honest, even with criticism. We don't understand why your feelings are hurt. And also because we ourselves don't use our feelings that much. We want facts. So feelings don't get in the way for us, and that's sometimes why we don't think that it should get in the way of you either when people say things to you. So that makes us jerks. So I apologize on behalf of all INTJs, but yeah, we are jerks. And like I said, to the untrained INTJ. So if you are an INTJ, or if you just happen to be an introvert who is just blunt with your words, take this as advice and a learning tool and try to make yourself better with expressing yourself. I have put in a lot of work to express myself a little better in using tact in how I talk to people as an INTJ, and I say that because I am an INTJ, but as an introvert also. I used to be untactful with what I say. But now I've gotten a whole lot better. So I'm not a jerk. At least not for those reasons. Next, we think too much. And I overemphasize, or maybe I underemphasized it. Too much. Way too much. We think way too much. A guy once told me something that I was trying to figure out. And he said, you know, you always understand. No, what he told me, you overstand. He said, you're always overstanding everything. Why don't you just try to understand it? And I was like, wow, he's right. I just analyze way too much. And that's the problem with a lot of INTJs. We just overly analyze. We are analytically minded by nature. And we just way overthink things, just way too much all the time. It takes work sometimes to make yourself not analyze so much. But that's a lot of work because our nature is to analyze. I'm a poor tester also because of being so analytical and always overthinking things. I can know the answers to the questions. I can understand the problems, but my mind is always analyzing. I'm always trying to understand it. Instead of just answering the question, my mind is just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. I'm like trying to solve world hunger when really I'm just trying to pass a daggone test. It's ridiculous. So I failed tests a lot of times, like the first time around, despite knowing the answers. I failed these tests because I just can't get over the fact that I want to really just delve into this problem. I want to really solve this puzzle. Just overanalyzing just way too much. And in fact, I'm trying to prepare for an exam now where I'm trying to train myself to not overanalyze and think too much. So that's an INTJ problem. It might be an introverted problem too, but I know INTJs, we are very analytical, and that's a problem that we have. So if you're a poor tester and you're an INTJ, hey, Join the club. You're not alone. There's others just like you. So it takes some work to make yourself stop analyzing. So just accept the facts and move on and keep it moving. Keep going, whatever it takes. So you don't fail these tests or whatever it is you need to do. Also, INTJs, we are way too confident sometimes. Way too confident to the sacrifice of our personal relationships with people, get along with people in general. We're way too confident because we look at things from every perspective possible. And because we do that, we gather all the facts, we ascertain all the information. So when we come at something, we're like, I know it. Just it's this square and that's it. So we think we have all the answers. So that comes off as being arrogant. And a lot of people will tell you that they think INTJs are arrogant. But it's a fault of ours because we just know what we're saying. We ascertained the facts, we got all the pertinent information, and we can't fathom that anybody else has anything to contribute to our thought or the information that we gathered. So we just mark them off as you don't know what you're talking about. But they do. Sometimes somebody can give us a different perspective on things. And as INTJs, we have to be willing to accept that. And also, being willing to accept that will help us to get over the fact that we are looked at as arrogant. Being arrogant or being looked at as arrogant is not a positive thing. It's not a good trait to have. And it's not even a good trait for people to perceive that you have. Arrogance is not welcoming. So all you INTJs out there, I know you put in a lot of time researching things, but be open minded. If you have something to say and someone is talking to you or you're conversing with someone about something, just shut your mouth and listen. Sometimes it's good to just listen, take in the information. Even if you are right, just take it in. Let people have their say. Because this world wasn't built by one personality type. Everybody has something to contribute to this society. So allow people to speak. And actually, you can learn something from people just speaking. So you don't have to always be right. You should always value others' opinions, and valuing their opinions and letting them speak, it enhances your knowledge. INTJs love to learn. Sometimes learning is a hobby for INTJs. So this should come off to you as pleasing. That if you listen to others and you let them speak, you can gain more knowledge. Also, one thing I would like to talk about INTJ problems is my own personal problem as an INTJ. I lost my death stare. We all know that INTJs are like one of the only, if not the main or the only personality type that gets that death stare. I used to do that so much. My eyes would be focused at someone else and I would just stare there, or I could be looking at another person's general area and I would just stare because I'm thinking something, I'm contemplating, and people be like, why are you staring at me? Stop staring at me, you weirdo, and all of this kind of stuff. And I stopped. I stopped my death stare and I'm kind of upset about it because that's when I did some of my best thinking. So now what I do is I would stare at the ceiling or I stare at the floor, but I don't look into people's faces. But I noticed the other day that I almost completely have lost my death stare. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but like I said, I did my best thinking when I was in that death stare. So that's my personal problem as an INTJ. The death stare itself might not be considered a problem for INTJs, but that's what we have. So this is something small that I just wanted to mention for the INTJs out there, INTJ problems. I might make a part two because INTJs have a whole lot of problems. We as individual people have a lot of problems, but I'm focusing on INTJs. So I thank you for watching my video. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you.